So picture this. You are looking out your kitchen window, right? You see the perfectly manicured green lawns, the wood-paneled station wagons, kids riding their bikes down a quiet 1980s suburban street.
Sounds like classic Americana. Very cozy.
Oh, completely. But then you look just a little past the picket fence and you see a 30-foot Allosaurus just casually eating your neighbor's golden retriever.
Which is just an incredible visual. So jarring.
It really is. And that is exactly the energy we are bringing to today's deep dive. We are unpacking a comprehensive review of the 2026 sci-fi thriller, The End of Oak Street.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Huge. And our mission today is to figure out if this wild cinematic swing is, just a cheap, recycled Spielberg clone, or if it's actually a brilliant, subversive deconstruction of the American dream that just happens to be hiding inside a giant dinosaur blockbuster.
It really is quite the Trojan horse of a movie. I mean, you walk into the theater expecting one thing, and you walk out with a completely different set of philosophical questions.
Okay, let's unpack this, because for those of you who haven't caught it yet, we really need to lay out this absolutely wild premise.
Definitely. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Right. So this film is produced by J.J. Abrams, but it's directed by David Robert Mitchell, who is like the indie darling behind It Follows and Under the Silver Lake.
Which is an interesting pairing right off the bat.
Oh, totally. And the concept is that this aggressively nostalgic, picture-perfect 1980s suburban street is just randomly, without any warning, transported millions of years into the prehistoric past.
Right, the entire neighborhood.
Yes. The pavement, the houses, the street lamps, the people just dropped right into the middle of the Jurassic era. Dinosaurs very much included. But to understand why the dinosaurs in this movie even matter, we first have to look at the perfectly manicured world they are destroying.
Well, the setup is critical here, because the film deliberately drenches you in this 1980s Amblin nostalgia right before it pulls the rug out from under you.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah, the reviewer we're looking at points out all these classic, comforting ingredients Mitchell uses. You have the analog technology, the warm glow of the street lights, families having these idyllic backyard cookouts.
Yeah, the vibes are immaculate at first.
Exactly. And tying it all together is this sweeping, old-school orchestral score by Michael Giacchino. It instantly makes you feel like you're watching a classic John Williams adventure.
Oh man, the horns in that score.
Right. It practically screams E.T. or The Goonies. You're lulled into this deep, deep sense of cinematic safety.
It's like a warm blanket. Honestly, watching the first 20 minutes, I felt like Mitchell spent hours meticulously building this pristine, incredibly detailed dollhouse.
A very expensive dollhouse.
Yes. Every shingle on the roof is perfect. Every blade of grass is perfectly green. But I have to ask, is he just pandering to us? Because we've seen the 80s nostalgia thing done to death over the last decade, It feels like a trap.
Oh, it is entirely a trap, and the reviewer absolutely agrees with that assessment.
Really? So it's intentional?
Completely intentional. Mitchell is imitating the Spielberg suburban fantasy, but he's doing it specifically to question what that fantasy actually represents.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because even before the first dinosaur shows up, the movie starts leaving these little breadcrumbs, hinting that this suburban paradise is just a complete illusion.
Like the cracks in the foundation.
Exactly. Behind those heavy wooden front doors, marriages are quietly breaking down, parents are suffocating under the weight of their own secrets, and, the kids are dealing with severe, unspoken emotional insecurities.
Right, so the lawns are perfect, but the people living behind them are an absolute mess.
Precisely. The movie isn't arguing that the past was actually this idyllic, wonderful place. It's making the case that we, as a culture, invented a version of the past that we desperately want to believe was better.
We just want the aesthetic of it being better.
Right. We cling to this idea that if the house looks nice, the neighborhood is quiet, and the lawn is mowed, then everything fundamentally must be fine.
Which is never true.
No, never. And what's fascinating here is how violently the critics divided on this exact point.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, the review aggregator shows a massive split. IndieWire completely loved it, calling it the best dinosaur movie since 1993. And they were specifically praising this thematic depth.
High praise.
Right. But then you have outlets like The Guardian and the Boston Globe that totally dismissed it as a derivative pastiche.
Ouch.
Yeah, they thought Mitchell was just blindly copying the aesthetics of Poltergeist in Jurassic Park without adding anything new.
Which is so wild to me. Because the references are glaringly obvious, there is no way they are accidental. The illusion of safe suburbia is the entire point of the movie.
I agree completely.
And I think that brings us perfectly to the emotional core of the film, the Platt family. Because their simmering domestic drama goes from hiding behind closed doors to, well, literally becoming life or death the second the apocalypse hits.
The stakes get raised just a bit.
It's just a little. We really have to talk about Anne Hathaway's performance as Denise, the mom. Because if this was a standard blockbuster, she would just be playing the generic, terrified mom trying to protect her kids trope, you know?
Right, the typical panic and scream role.
Exactly. But she brings something so much heavier to the screen.
She really gives the film its emotional anchor. Denise is someone who has been quietly, slowly disappearing inside her own life for years.
It's so sad to watch.
It is. She loves her family, obviously, but she is utterly exhausted by the performative nature of her existence. She's playing the role of the 1980s suburban housewife, but she's completely hollowed out by it.
She literally has a secret novel she's writing. Like, she hides it in a shoebox in her closet, and it's all about a woman who just gets up one day, walks out the door, and abandons her family.
Yeah, that detail is so telling.
So much buried resentment. And I love the dark humor of her arc. Because when the dinosaur apocalypse happens and their street is dropped into a prehistoric jungle, it is oddly liberating for her.
It's the shakeup she unconsciously wanted.
Right. The world as she knows it ends, and Denise finally has to act. She can't just be a passive wife or an exhausted mother anymore. She's suddenly making actual life-altering survival decisions.
She finds her agency in the worst possible situation. And contrasted directly with her awakening is her husband, Greg, played by Ewan McGregor.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah, Greg. He has a much harder job in this film because Greg is deliberately written to be less sympathetic. He's struggling financially, but his ego won't let him admit it to anyone.
Not even to his wife.
Especially not to his wife. So he's secretly delivering pizzas at night to make ends meet. He's drinking way too much out in the garage, and he's just hiding all of his failures from Denise.
It's so stressful.
Right. His entire identity, his total sense of self-worth, is completely tied up in this traditional patriarchal expectation of being the provider, the protector.
Which makes his reaction to the dinosaurs so pathetic, right? Like, he can't even pay the mortgage, so he tries to overcompensate by essentially trying to fight a prehistoric apex predator, just to prove he's still the man of the house.
That's the tragic irony of his character. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Greg's collapsing sense of traditional masculinity perfectly mirrors their physically collapsing world.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
When the dinosaurs arrive, he desperately wants to step into that traditional heroic protector role. He wants to be the guy with the shotgun defending the porch.
Like John Wayne or something.
Exactly. But the film keeps brutally demonstrating that his specific brand of 1980s masculine heroism just isn't enough to handle the sheer overwhelming reality of their situation. A shotgun doesn't matter when your house is being crushed by a brachiosaurus.
Wait, I need to push back on this a little, because I struggle with that specific reading of the movie. You're saying the apocalypse exposes their marital problems, but couldn't you just argue that this is a totally standard survival trope?
How do you...
Well, I mean, throw any group of people into a high-stress life or death situation, and they're going to argue. People get stressed. How is this specifically a critique of 1980s suburban marital decay? And not just, you know, the natural stress of running for your life from a T-Rex?
It's a fair question, but the distinction lies in how they fight, not just the fact that they fight. The reviewer points out, and there's actually a fantastic analytical piece by Vulture that backs this up, that the apocalypse doesn't create the Platt's problems, it physically manifests them.
Okay, color me intrigued. Give me an example.
Take the house itself. Before the jump, the house was a place where they actively avoided each other. Denise hid in her bedroom.
Greg hid in the garage.
Exactly. When the dinosaurs arrive, the house literally becomes a bunker. The physical walls they put up emotionally become literal walls they have to reinforce just to survive.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that parallel.
Yeah, and the backyard isn't a place for a barbecue anymore. It's a hunting ground, which perfectly mirrors the hostility of their marriage. The disaster strips away all the pleasantries of their neighborhood and leaves only the raw, dysfunctional mechanics of their relationship.
Okay, I see that. The mask completely comes off. And speaking of how the mask comes off, here's where it gets really interesting for me. How David Robert Mitchell actually visualizes this psychological trap.
Because it's not what you'd expect.
Not at all. It does not look like Jurassic Park. The way he films these prehistoric creatures, is completely different from what you expect in a standard CGI popcorn blockbuster today.
It is remarkably restrained, isn't it?
So restrained.
The reviewer praises Mitchell for treating the dinosaurs not as movie monsters and not as evil villains out for revenge, but simply as real animals. They are completely indifferent to human drama.
They don't care if Greg is having a midlife crisis.
No, they simply exist in their ecosystem. And the humans just happen to be incredibly soft, vulnerable meat in that environment.
Yes. Instead of bombarding us with constant shaky cam action, fast cuts, and massive explosions, Mitchell uses these incredibly deliberate, agonizingly slow camera techniques.
He pulls heavily from his horror background to do it. The Vulture piece actually drew a brilliant line between this film and his breakout horror hit, It Follows.
Oh, that movie terrified me.
Right, and they pointed out how he transfers the stalking background anxiety of that movie directly into these dinosaur encounters.
Yeah.
He takes the familiar, safe suburban home and visually turns it into a trap.
Exactly. And the way he does it is so unsettling. He uses these wide compositions and deep focus, but the standout trick is his use of the split diopter.
Oh, I love a good split diopter shot.
It's so good. For example, there's this one scene where Denise is in her kitchen. The camera uses a split diopter lens, which, for anyone who doesn't know, allows the director to keep two entirely different planes of depth in perfect focus at the exact same time.
So no blurry backgrounds.
Right. So you are looking right at Denise's face in the foreground. She's crying, having this intense, quiet breakdown about her marriage. Every single tear is crystal clear.
Yeah.
But the background, the window behind her, is also crystal clear. And through that window, you can see a massive, terrifying claw slowly reaching over the white picket fence in the backyard.
It's such a brilliant composition.
Your brain literally doesn't know what to panic about first, like the impending divorce in the foreground or the literal dinosaur in the background.
It creates this unbearable feeling that the environment itself is watching. The horror is almost always what you see before the characters do.
The suspense is killer.
It's a shadow moving across the floral wallpaper. It's a heavy footstep that rattles the good china in the cabinet. Mitchell makes a familiar deeply, deeply unfamiliar.
It is so tense, and that creeping visual tension builds and builds for over an hour until we finally get to a brutal sequence that has become, honestly, the single biggest talking point of the entire movie.
Yes, the minivan.
Yeah. And it exposes what the reviewer considers the film's most glaring flaw. We have to talk about the Allosaurus attack on the minivan.
The major turning point for Greg's character.
Yeah, and it is incredibly nasty. The family is trapped in their crushed minivan, and Greg finally decides to stop pretending and actually sacrifice himself.
He steps up.
He does.
Yeah.
He tries to distract this massive Allosaurus to protect Denise and the kids. He runs out into the rain, yelling, playing the ultimate hero, and the dinosaur just effortlessly catches him.
Just swoops him right up.
And it tears into him. It's physical, it's chaotic, and when you are sitting in the theater watching it, it feels shockingly permanent, which, you know, in a modern studio blockbuster is incredibly rare. You actually feel the consequence of his failure.
You really do. Up until that exact moment, the film spends all of its time teaching us that actions have brutal consequences. The illusion of suburbia breaks, families fall apart, and people die.
It felt so real.
It did. For a moment, it really seems like the movie's willing to follow through on its own dark, nihilistic premise. But then Mitchell introduces the cheat.
The dreaded undo button. I couldn't believe it.
Yes. The movie leans into its time travel mechanics, which, it should be noted, it keeps intentionally very fuzzy and vague throughout the entire runtime.
Lots of pseudoscience jargon.
Exactly. But Denise and the kids managed to discover the spatial anomaly that caused the jump in the first place. They managed to get back to their street on the exact night of the transport. They manipulate the timeline, they warn the neighborhood, and they essentially save Greg from ever being in that attack.
They hit reset.
They do. And interestingly, a behind-the-scenes report from Entertainment Weekly confirmed that Greg was originally meant to stay dead.
Wait, really?
Yeah. The filmmakers completely changed the ending during the middle of production.
Wow, they totally chickened out. They built up all this incredible emotional weight and then just hit a quick save. It's like in a video game right before a boss fight. You mess up, you die, you just reload the save file and try again.
This raises an important question, and it's the core of the reviewer's fundamental problem with the film. Does this temporal undo button ruin the consequences of the story?
I mean, I certainly felt a little cheated.
The reviewer strongly felt it reduced the profound emotional weight of Greg's sacrifice to just a temporary inconvenience. It takes away the sting of his arc. He finally learns what it means to truly provide and protect. He pays the ultimate price, and then it's just erased.
But wait, I want to unpack that. Because I don't think it's just a cheerful, happy ending where everything is fixed.
You think it's darker?
Oh, much darker.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the truly horrific philosophical implications of what Denise just did. Did she actually save her marriage? Or did she just rewrite reality to get a second chance without doing the hard work?
That is a fascinating angle.
Because the Greg she ends up hugging at the end of the movie is a version of her husband who never actually went through that horrific nightmare in the jungle. He never faced his own mortality. He didn't learn those hard lessons.
He's still the same flawed guy.
Exactly. The Vulture critique pointed this out too. It is an incredibly dark concept when you really think about it. Denise is essentially living with a ghost of a timeline.
It is deeply unsettling if you look beneath the glossy surface of that final scene. You have the emotional, swelling Giacchino music returning. The family is crying and hugging in the driveway. The neighborhood is safe. But the Greg she is hugging is absolutely not the man who sacrificed himself for her.
Not at all.
He's completely ignorant to the growth they supposedly shared in the prehistoric jungle. He is still the guy secretly delivering pizzas and drinking in the garage. That dissonance is fascinating, even if the movie kind of stumbles into it by accident because of studio interference.
Exactly. And that brings us to the ultimate verdict from the review. Because despite this messy timeline cheat and the weird, potentially accidental philosophical implications, the reviewer still gave the film a very solid 8 out of 10.
They did. And the reviewer is very honest about the film's flaws in their conclusion.
Oh yeah, they definitely don't let it off the hook entirely.
Not at all. The movie is undeniably trying to juggle way too much at once. It wants to be a Spielberg adventure, a feminist domestic drama, a tense creature feature, a biting satire of the American dream, and a time travel mystery, all at exactly the same time.
That is a lot of plates to spin.
Because it's spinning so many plates, some of the supporting characters are totally underdeveloped, and the happy ending relies on some very convenient, unearned coincidences. The narrative logic definitely clashes with the emotional sincerity in the final act.
I see all of those flaws, I really do. But stepping in to defend the film here, echoing the reviewer's stance, I don't think I would change the ending.
Really? Even with the cheat?
Even knowing they reshot it during production to save Greg. Because think about the alternative. If it ended with Greg torn apart in the rain and the family broken and trapped in the deep past, it would be a totally different movie.
It would be a tragedy.
It would be a movie about the sheer nihilistic cruelty of the universe. And that's not what this story is fundamentally about. This movie is about choosing to rebuild.
Rebuilding the family.
Right. Denise spends the entire runtime questioning if she even wants this family, this house, this life. She wrote a whole novel about escaping it. And in the end, by using that time travel cheat, she doesn't just blindly accept her old, suffocating life back. She actively chooses the possibility of a different life with them. She chooses to stay.
It's the difference between saying, maybe we get another chance to do this right, rather than saying, everything is fine, let's go back to normal. It's a crucial distinction.
It really is.
The old version of their life wasn't working. The dinosaurs had to literally crush the fantasy of Oak Street before they could admit that they needed to change.
So what does this all mean? Why does this messy, bizarre dinosaur family drama actually matter to us as viewers?
Well, context is everything.
Exactly. I think it comes down to looking at the cinematic landscape of 2026. Right now, we are absolutely choked by safe, predictable IP.
It's all franchises.
Right. Everything in the theater is a sequel, a prequel, a soft reboot, or part of a massive, never-ending cinematic universe. So seeing a major Hollywood studio hand a massive budget to an indie director with a crazy, wholly original vision, a movie that combines a suburban street, a broken marriage, and an Allosaurus is incredibly refreshing.
It's a risk, and risks are rare.
Even when it stumbles over its own time travel logic, it is swinging for the absolute fences.
It is ambitious, and more importantly, it is rarely boring.
Yeah.
It treats its audience with enough respect to leave them with something to actually chew on long after the credits roll.
Absolutely.
Which leads me to a final thought for you to mull over.
Lay it on us.
If your own neighborhood was suddenly thrown back to the Jurassic era tonight, stripped of all its modern conveniences and safe routines, what hidden truths about your own life would the apocalypse force you to confront? And if you found a way to rewrite your timeline to escape it, Would you build the exact same life you have right now, or would you build something entirely new?
That is the perfect question to leave us on. Got any thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions or favorite moments in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and content on the latest news, movies, dramas, and books. And hit the bell icon so you won't miss any new updates.